Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about discipline. I sent out a newsletter to my mailing list about discipline. A lot of people liked it. One of my clients that's doing my 6 weeks program right now, he really liked it, and I really liked it because it's taken me a lot of discipline, a lot of facing fear, going through a lot of failure, rejection, pain, suffering and success to learn this and understand it. Hit that subscribe button, like, share with a friend, and leave your comments in the box below, your feelings about this video and success stories or anything that you're struggling with that I can help you with. So let's get into it. So discipline is really important when it comes to improving your anxiety and building more confidence and finding your purpose in life and succeeding at it, living it. Because really that's what it's about. It's all good and well saying this is what I want to do and this is the purpose of my life, but if you don't live it, then it's just as good as not having a purpose because you're not doing it. So let me start off with talking about discipline, maybe in a way that you wouldn't think is discipline. A lot of you still read too many books and you quote facts. You love quoting facts and you love coming up with theories that you read. But I've said before, that's not the truth in this area. It's different if you're reading books on how to improve your intellect or you're studying at university. Of course, that's when you need to read books. You've got to learn certain things, you've got to memorize them. Because when you do your exams, those questions come up and you need to have the right answers, and you need to stimulate that part of your brain. But when we're talking about the area of getting over social anxiety and overcoming anxiety in general, you're not going to do that by reading books, because reading a book doesn't give you fight or flight. Reading a book doesn't give you that real experience on how to handle anxiety, nervousness, awkwardness, running out of things to say, getting in your head. It doesn't put you in that headspace. It doesn't give you those emotions. So it doesn't give you the real experience. Therefore, it's not the truth, it doesn't work, and it's a waste of time. But explain a fascinating part of psychology, and this comes from a lack of discipline, a lack of self-awareness. It definitely comes from a lack of honesty and accountability. What a lot of people do is, and I've observed this over the years, I've said this before, people on this channel do it as well, when they've got a fear and an insecurity and an issue, because it's so hard for them to admit it and be honest about it and go and do something about it, and obviously that is challenging for everyone. They read a book on how to educate themselves in that area. They take the information in, they absorb it, and then they repeat it like a parrot. They start repeating it to people. And what that does is, in human psychology, or you could say it's part of the ego, it makes them feel somewhat good about themselves. It makes you feel self-important, and it kind of, you want to show other people that you're smart. You want their approval. You want them to think that you're not this guy that got these issues and you're in control and you don't have anxiety, or it's not really a big deal, and you figured out a way to overcome it, and you start quoting. You might write it on one of my videos, or you might say it in a group or a forum, or you start saying out loud or writing in a written text what you've read in a book. But really what you're doing is you're lying to yourself, because your confidence hasn't improved, your anxiety hasn't decreased, because you've not gone out into real social situations or real life situations and exposed yourself to that anxiety and felt those feelings and had to deal with those feelings and communicate under the circumstances. It might be where you're completely in fear and anxiety and your adrenaline, your biology is triggered. There's loads of emotions and your mind is racing 100 miles an hour. That's living it, that's going through it. And if you keep putting yourself in that situation, whatever invokes anxiety, whatever makes you feel nervous and scared, example, speaking in front of a camera, everyone would be afraid of that unless they do it. You know, until you keep putting yourself in that situation and practicing communicating, you're not going to see any improvement. And you can lie to as many people as you want. You can't lie to me because obviously I'm aware of it. So discipline is about saying, right, let's first start off with the truth. I have to be honest to start with. I have to say, where am I not disciplined in my life? An example, it could be with the nofap, it could be watching pornography. It could be discipline where it's lies, where you're quoting quotes from other people that are successful, or reading books and you're paraphrasing the information from the book, but you're not living it. You're not going out and doing a 5-mile run or a 5K run. You're not making a YouTube video, you're not doing public speaking, you're not going out to groups and events, you're not speaking to women, you're not going on dates, you're not going to job interviews, you're not being accountable because you lack discipline. And where there's a lack of discipline, there's going to be a lack of honesty and accountability. That's the way you mask it up. That's how you bullshit yourself and other people, or you try to. But underneath those lies, underneath that intellectual rationalization and those facts, because that's what it is. It's like, I'm smart because I know this, but that's not going to last. Because if you fool a couple of people and they believe you, you still carry that lie. And the biggest lie you're telling is to yourself. So quit with that stuff. You have to stop that. Unless you want to continue, then that's your choice. Like I've said before, I've encountered two types of clients. The first category are the ones that don't read books. They just show up, they do the program, my course 6 weeks program, or a coaching session or online program, and they take the action and they transform. Because all their mind is set to is taking action, exposure therapy, facing the fear, and practicing in social situations and communicating with people and being honest and accountable and going through the rejections and the failures and working through embarrassment, working through awkwardness, and they come out the other side a different person. And they become confident, their self-esteem increases, and they go and achieve their goals. Where the other client is almost uncoachable. They don't take enough action, if not any, and they just read books and they keep quoting that wisdom to me, or they come up with what they think they know. They go, well, I think this is how you overcome anxiety, or I think this is the cause. But most of us know the cause of anxiety, but that's not going to help you overcome it. You have to have a solution. Obviously, understanding the problem is a start, but we know that. I've told you guys a million times in my story. I've done thousands of videos, and there's other people that have said it. The only way to overcome a fear is to face it. It's to face it with all your heart, all your might and courage. And you might have to face that fear 20 times. You might have to spend the next 5 years facing it until it goes away. But you can sure damn bet it's going to go away by facing it. Your confidence is going to go up, your performance will improve, your social skills, your body language, your self-confidence, your self-belief, your motivation, your passion, your enthusiasm, your optimism, your positive thinking, your mental toughness, your character. That's all going to improve because you're taking action, because you're doing exposure therapy. But if you're just reading books and you're just quoting and arguing and trying to argue with experts that have lived it, you haven't lived it, you're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to be a busy fool. And I don't want people to be like that. I don't want people to get that from watching my videos. I want them to be accountable and take the action and get that great feeling that you get. That feeling of victory, that feeling where you're proud of who you are, you're genuinely proud, and you haven't got to try and get approval from other people. Because the more you want approval from others, the more it says that inside you ain't got much self-esteem. When you stop trying to get approval, you're going to get it in the right way. People are going to respect you, and that's a nice feeling to be respected. And it's nice when someone compliments you on your character or what you've achieved, when it's genuine. But for the most part, it's just going to be the blind leading the blind. A group of people that are not honest, they're not being honest. That's what it comes down to. So it's not honest to read books on something that you haven't achieved or overcome and then act like you know it when you don't. You know it, you know what you've read, but you haven't lived it. So it's two entirely different things. You can't read a book on how to build a building and then try and educate someone who actually has built a building successfully and tell them how to do it. Your argument is going to fall on deaf ears because it holds no weight. It's not truthful. You haven't done it. So you can't speak on what you haven't done to someone else who has done what you haven't done. They're trying to help you. You need to put your ego aside and listen to them, take their advice, or continue the way you're going. The way you're going is going to lead you to misery. So the discipline is to not do that, is to be aware of it and to put your ego aside and take advice from someone who knows more than you. Eventually you'll know just as more as them. So that's that is a huge part of discipline. That's the discipline to not have verbal diarrhea, where you can't stop spilling your tongue and talking and rabbiting and gossiping and being dramatic and quoting stuff when you haven't lived it. Live it first, then speak it. When you live it and you speak it, people will listen straight away. People will 100% believe you. They can sense it. Human beings, we're smart. We can sense when someone is telling the truth about something. for the most part. Of course, there are some good lies, but generally, when it's something that's really important and meaningful, like this area of anxiety, mental health, confidence, and all this kind of stuff, people can sense when you've been through stuff and lived it, and I can sense when someone's lying, because I can see the telltale signs. I've been on this journey for years. I've coached hundreds of people. I'm well socialized, I'm well educated on this matter. I don't know everything about everything, of course, no one does, but in this area, I know a hell of a lot, and I overcome it myself. So you have to have the discipline to stop telling yourself lies. Now, how do you build that discipline? Where does one start? Well, it starts off with a goal-orientated mindset. You've got to set goals. You have to set goals. You have to have some clarity. You have to know what it is that you want to achieve. Otherwise, you won't be motivated to face your anxiety, which is challenging by definition. It's just challenging mentally and emotionally. Then you need to take action on those goals. Then you need to work out 2 ways to build discipline. Exercising and socializing, that's what gives you the self-esteem. But like I said, the kind of basis of discipline is having goals. In order for a person to be disciplined, they need a why, they need a reason, they need a purpose. So it's like, okay, my goal is to quit porn. I want to get a real relationship, so I don't need to watch that. I don't want to go down that road. So the discipline to abstain from porn, to do the no-fat, and to go out and socialize and meet a real woman and get a girlfriend, that's an example. Another area of discipline is, I want to lose weight. I'm tired of being fat and overweight, having a big gut. I want to get a slim body or in shape, six-pack, and I want to be fit and healthy. I want to lose weight. That's a goal. Then obviously the discipline is changing your diet, not eating junk and crap every day, going down the gym. That's another example of discipline. Another example of discipline is when you're scared, when you're nervous, you don't want to go to a social event in case you get awkward. You're scared of meeting people, but you push yourself, you force yourself, you motivate yourself, and you go to the event despite how you feel. That's discipline. Another area is if you make a promise or a commitment to someone, you don't change your mind and lie and disappoint them. You fulfill what you promised, you go and do it. That's discipline. And discipline, doing a YouTube video when I'm freezing to death, and my cheeks are tight, they're freezing, and I'm still here toughing it out because I love a challenge, change the mindset. That's discipline. Going out early hours in the morning or in the day and going for a run outside and going on a long run, that's discipline. You know, getting up on time, being motivated, being accountable, helping other people, that's discipline. So discipline makes you feel great when you do it. But most of you at the moment lack discipline. You're not being disciplined in your life, and that creates more anxiety. You get anxious because you're anxious, and then you get anxious because you feel guilty and down because you know you're not being the best version of yourself and you're not doing the things that you know you need to do. That would give you that feeling of victory and make you feel good about who you are as a person. But you're not doing them because discipline, by nature, by definition, is difficult. But when you get into it and you start growing and enjoying it, it's not that difficult. It's not difficult when it's so rewarding. But it's not that rewarding at the start because you don't get the reward straight away. You're not going to lose 20 pounds in one day. You're not going to be socially confident, have great communication skills and great self-awareness and the ability to connect and communicate with people and build honest relationships overnight. It takes time. So most people don't want to put the time in. They don't have the discipline to be dedicated every single day, get up every morning. When your mind's telling you you can't do it or it's going to be difficult and your emotions are heavy and horrible and scary, discipline is to get past that. It's to discipline yourself to move when you don't feel like moving. It's to act when you don't feel like acting. And the more you can take action when you don't feel like it, the more you get into state. At a certain point, you hit a peak point where you get results, you get confidence, you get happiness, you get clarity, you know what your purpose is in life. So it's quite amazing how educational facing your fears is. I've said it before, I've got more education from facing my fears than any school system, any university, any book I ever read. For me personally, anyway, that's another story. No, that doesn't matter. Everyone's gonna be like, what is it? Write in the box below what I just thought, but I'm not gonna share it, I'm not gonna say it. And this kind of shows me who's staying on the video, so I appreciate you being on the video. That takes discipline. And of course, the discipline to go and get a mentor when you need one, to invest in yourself. the discipline to spend money and not be afraid to invest in mentorship, which is going to change your life, or in anything, the gym, investing money in a membership, investing in money eating healthy instead of eating crap. So there's so many areas which are great where guys and men can be more disciplined and be a better person, a better human being, be kinder, more positive, have better energy around other people. So I guess the question is, what are you going to do about it? You're going to continue reading books and quoting facts on Facebook and saying, look how much I know because I read this, but you're not living it, or are you going to live it? What's it going to be? Let me know in the box below. You're just going to read about it, or you're going to live it. I honestly hope that you start living it, because that's when your life will change. When you become fearless, your life just becomes limitless. You open up new doors, you meet amazing people, you have new experiences, your mindset changes. So this is all about transformation of the mind, of thinking, from thinking negative and pessimistic to thinking positive and optimistic. So to be a great speaker, to be able to speak great like I do, it takes discipline. You've got to practice. You've got to go through failure. Discipline is when you're failing and it's difficult and things are going against you and they're not working out. The discipline to not quit. That's really the message in all my videos. Don't quit. You're going to feel like it sometimes. As I said in my newsletter, your self-doubt is going to visit you every day. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to believe it and quit, or are you going to fight it off and be a champion, be a warrior? I encourage you, the second one, the latter one, to fight the self-doubt off and not to believe it. Hear it, don't identify with it and just go, I don't believe it, and take action. The more action you take, the more you push the self-doubt away. The more you reinforce that I can do it, I am enough, I am capable, I can improve my anxiety, I can come out of being an introvert, I can speak, I can show up, I can be accountable, I can stick to my goals, I can do the things that I say I'm going to do, I can overcome my addictions, I can, yes I can. There we go, end the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, share, subscribe, and remember, become fearless.